Look at this pile of crap I've been using as a lumber rack. It's very possible I was incredibly drunk when I built this. I mean, check out this advanced level joinery I was using. And it doesn't even nearly hold all my wood. This stuff's everywhere. Leaning against walls, laying all over the floor. Something's got to be done about this. I'm going to make this out of scrap 2x4s I have laying around, because obviously I'm a wood hoarder and I can't stop myself from not throwing pieces away. But if you don't suffer from this affliction of wood hoarding that I have, all you're going to need is 3 2x4s to get this done. I took the one full 2x4 that I had and brought it over to the miter station to cut it up into the 3 pieces that will be needed to mount these things to the wall. Then after unplugging my saw, I took off my regular blade and swapped it out for one with a flat tooth grind. This step isn't completely necessary, but it's going to save me some chisel time later. My plan from the beginning was to trim up the round edges on all these 2x4s, but because I'm an idiot, I forgot to do it before I cut everything into small pieces. But once that was finished, I took all the small pieces over to the miter saw and set up a stop block and cut out all the pieces that'll be used as the lumber supports. For this project, we're going to be using half laps for our joinery, so I marked out the location of where those will all be, and then transferred those measurements over to the table saw. Now, if I were smart, which obviously I am not, I would have taken 5 minutes and actually installed my dado stack instead of the flat top grind blade. But I could use to lose some weight, so I figured doing 7,000 crunches over the top of my table saw over a half hour was the much smarter move. Much smarter. You just heard that right. I'm not even going to edit that out. I actually said that, out loud. It surprises me that my wife allows me to be around power tools. Anyways, after all the half laps were cut, I took the main braces over to my drill press and set it up with a Forstner bit to cut out some holes that I'm going to use to screw this to the wall. A spade bit would also work, but the Forstner bit's the cleaner way to go. I broke out the world's crappiest bandsaw to lop off the ends of all these supports, but if you don't have a crappy bandsaw, or even a good one, a jigsaw will work just fine. Once you're done, you'll be left with a bunch of free-range, vegan, all-natural doorstops you can probably sell on Etsy. I squirted on a liberal amount of glue, smushed it around with a brush, and then clamped everything into place. Then I set everything aside to dry so I could get to the work of dismantling my old mess. The top of this rack holds a bunch of living room baseboard trim that were going on a 1.5 years now that I told my wife I would hang up. Thankfully for me, the new rack will be able to hold it for many more years to come. I filmed one good shot of me screwing this into the wall, and then spent the next half hour standing in front of the camera so you couldn't see a single thing that I was doing. So we will just cut to me storing that baseboard up top for safekeeping, and filling the rest of the rack up with all of my wood that's been laying all over the place. My racks were screwed into cinder blocks, but this will work just as easy, if not easier, into drywall and studs. Here she is all finished. I'm no longer tripping over lumber throughout my shop. This was super simple to build, and I bet you can make one too. So what are you waiting for? Go get the plans. They're on my website down below. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry, I didn't see you there. Do you like pictures? Check out my Instagram down below. What about plans? Available on my website. Now if you'll excuse me.